Good, happy Wednesday morning and happy hump day, everyone. It's Wednesday, July 28th, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the morning show with Riley King. It's time to rise and shine and get this Wednesday off to a good start. So grab a good cup of coffee and sit back, relax, and enjoy this Wednesday morning edition of the morning show with Riley King, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today in this morning, so let's get started. First up, CDC reverses mask guidance for vaccinated people in schools. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Oh, there's that cute guy from 12C. Go talk to him. Yeah, no.
That we begin tonight with the pandemic and the CDC's new guidance tonight for the millions of vaccinated Americans, recommending vaccinated people now wear masks indoors in communities where the virus is spreading quickly. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky revealing new and worrisome data, in her words, is behind this new guidance, showing the data from several states in this country showing vaccinated people infected with the highly contagious Delta variant may be contagious and able to spread the virus to others. So she said, even if you're vaccinated, the masks indoors in public, in those areas seeing spikes, will help protect yourself from those rare breakthrough cases and keep yourself from transmitting to others. And late today, President Biden suggesting a recommendation that all federal workers be vaccinated is under consideration. We have new reporting from the White House in a moment. Tonight, the map here. And as I said, the CDC now recommending that vaccinated people wear masks in areas with high and substantial transmission of the virus. Those are the areas in red and in orange there in particular on the map. And with children going back to school now, they're recommending that everyone in K through 12 schools mask up indoors, teachers, staff, students, and visitors, regardless of your vaccination status. This is to protect everyone. But the CDC tonight saying above all else, get vaccinated, because they say this remains a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And Dr. Walensky saying we wouldn't be in this situation now had the vaccination rate been higher, saying she fears the next variant, which could be even stronger and one that could really test her vaccines. Tonight, the numbers here, 188 million Americans have received at least one dose. That's 66% of everyone 12 years and older. Dr. Jha is here to answer your questions tonight. Cecilia Vega at the White House, and ABC's Eva Pilgrim leading us off right here in New York.
Tonight, with new evidence, fully vaccinated people with so-called breakthrough cases can potentially spread the Delta variant, the CDC reversing mask guidance for schools and millions of vaccinated Americans.
In rare occasions, some vaccinated people infected with the Delta variant after vaccination may be contagious and spread the virus to others. This new science is worrisome.
That spread from vaccinated people not believed to be a serious risk with earlier strains, which is one reason the CDC is now urging Americans to wear masks indoors if they are in an area with substantial or high transmission, not only to protect yourself, but to protect others, now that the CDC has this new data indicating that even vaccinated people can transmit the virus in some cases. The CDC also reversing its guidance from 2 weeks ago, now recommending universal masking for all teachers, staff, students, and visitors, regardless of vaccination status. The CDC stressing the vast majority of transmission occurs among unvaccinated people, but they are studying clusters of breakthrough infections.
When we examine the rarer breakthrough infections and we look at the amount of virus in those people, it is pretty similar to the amount of virus in unvaccinated people.
Late today, President Biden saying a requirement for federal employees to get a vaccine is under consideration.
We have a pandemic because of the unvaccinated. We're showing an enormous confusion. The more we learn about this virus, the development severity, the more we have to be worried and concerned. And there's only one thing we know for sure. If there was 100 million people got vaccinated,
president also saying in a statement, we are not going back to last year. More vaccinations and mask wearing in the areas most impacted by the Delta variant will enable us to avoid the kind of lockdowns, shutdowns, school closures, and disruptions we faced in 2020. Unlike 2020, we have both the scientific knowledge and the tools to prevent the spread of this disease. We are not going back to that. Today's new mask guidance coming as parents across the country are protesting mask mandates in schools.
I cannot stand to see her masked, and she doesn't want to be masked.
7 states have banned mask mandates in schools, including Arizona, where students are already back in the classroom. Masks optional. And with the Delta surge, a warning from the former head of the CDC, Dr. Tom Frieden, that COVID cases could soar.
We're heading into a rough time. It's likely, if our trajectory is similar to that in the United Kingdom, that we could see as many as 200,000 cases a day.
In Houston, doctors are seeing a repeat of moments like this from last summer's surge.
In the last 14 days, we've had a 500% increase in the number of admissions.
And in Florida, hospitals overwhelmed. Some doctors pleading for extra staffing. In Fort Lauderdale, the family of 15-year-old Paulina Velasquez says she was planning to get the vaccine when she got COVID. She's now fighting for her life on a ventilator. Paulina's vaccinated mother is experiencing a breakthrough COVID infection herself, not leaving her daughter's side.
It was terrifying for me because I said, why me? Why not me? Why my daughter? Why not me? It was very sad.
Let's get to Eva Pilgrim with us tonight. And Eva, you heard this point from President Biden today. You also heard from the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, who said, quote, this moment and most importantly, the associated illness, suffering, and death could have been avoided with higher vaccination coverage in this country. They continue to urge Americans to get vaccinated.
Yes, David, and adding to that, Walensky said without more people willing to get vaccinated, the big concern is the next variant that might emerge. Just a few mutations away could potentially evade our vaccines. David?
Which is why we've got to shut the virus down. Eva, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more video...
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Capitol Police officers testify to January 6th committee. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Movie night.
You've been watching the stove instead.
Tell me something I don't know.
With your farmer's policy perk guaranteed replacement cost, your home can be rebuilt regardless of your limits.
That's really something.
Get a whole lot of something with farmer's policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. And the other major news this Tuesday night, the House Select Committee on the January 6th attack on the Capitol and its first public hearing today. 4 officers who defended the Capitol that day in their own words in front of the American people. Their searing and emotional descriptions of what they witnessed, what was said to them, what was done to them, and more than one officer saying, I thought I was going to die. And how they feel about efforts to redefine what really happened that day. Rachel Scott on the Hill tonight.
You swear
Tonight, 4 uniformed police officers, in their own words, testifying before Congress, telling Americans what they went through on January 6th.
I remember thinking there was a very good chance I would be torn apart or shot to death with my own weapon.
Their harrowing account came with new and raw video. The violent mob of Trump supporters surging into the Capitol. This officer refusing to give ground, even as one man punches the glass behind him. Sergeant Aquilino Ganell, who also served in Iraq, first to testify.
On January 6th, for the first time, I was more afraid to work at the Capitol than my entire deployment to Iraq.
Sergeant Ganell said he thought he was going to die. Crushed by the mob, sprayed by chemicals.
I arrived at home at nearly 4 a.m. on January 7th. I had to push my wife away from me because she wanted to hug me. And I told her no. because of all the chemicals that my uniform had on. Sorry.
Then Officer Michael Fanone.
I was dragged from the line of officers and into the crowd. I heard someone scream, "I got one!" As I was swarmed by a violent mob, they ripped off my badge. They grabbed and stripped me of my radio. They seized ammunition that was secured to my body. They began to beat me with their fists and with what felt like hard metal objects. I heard chanting from some in the crowd, "Get his gun," and kill him with his own gun. I thought of my 4 daughters who might lose their dad. I said as loud as I could manage, "I've got kids."
His body camera capturing that moment.
What makes the struggle harder and more painful is to know so many of my fellow citizens, including so many of the people I put my life at risk to defend, are downplaying or outright denying what happened. The indifference shown to my colleagues is disgraceful.
Officer Daniel Hodges.
There were a significant number of men dressed in tactical gear attending the gathering, wearing ballistic vests, helmets, goggles, military face masks.
What happened to Officer Hodges in the Capitol recorded on video for the world to see. And even today, clearly painful for him to watch. Crushed in a doorway by men he calls terrorists.
Directly in front of me, a man seized the opportunity of my vulnerability. He grabbed the front of my gas mask and used it to beat my head against the door. He switched to pulling it off my head, the straps stretching against my skull and straining my neck.
Finally, Officer Harry Dunn, a 13-year veteran of the Capitol Police, describing a face-off with the racist mob.
I told them to just leave the Capitol, and in response they yelled, "No, man, this is our house. President Trump invited us here. We're here to stop the steal. Joe Biden is not the president. Nobody voted for Joe Biden. I'm a law enforcement officer, and I do my best to keep politics out of my job. But in this circumstance, I responded. Well, I voted for Joe Biden. Does my vote not count? Am I nobody?" That prompted a torrent of racial epithets. One woman in a pink MAGA shirt yelled, "You hear that, guys? This voted for Joe Biden." Then the crowd, perhaps around 20 people, joined in screaming, "Boo!" No one had ever called me a while wearing the uniform of a Capitol Police officer.
Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney then asking about former President Donald Trump's words revealed in recent days, how he described the crowd on January 6th.
You hear former President Trump say, quote, "It was a loving crowd. There was a lot of love in the crowd." How does that make you feel?
It's upsetting. It's a pathetic excuse for his behavior for something that he himself helped to create, this monstrosity.
And Cheney making it clear tonight that subpoenas are coming. Congressman Adam Schiff telling me that no one will be off limits, including Republican leader Kevin McCarthy and former President Donald Trump. David?
Rachel Scott, who was on the air with us today. Rachel, thanks.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Olympic star Simone Biles withdraws mid-competition. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Now to Team USA at the Olympics and Simone Biles withdrawing from Team Gymnastics event today and her deeply personal explanation. James Longman from Tokyo.
Tonight, heartbreak and resilience at the women's team gymnastics. Heart-stopping as star Olympian Simone Biles stumbled on the vault. Confusion as she's seen back in her tracksuit. And then the 24-year-old shocking the world, pulling out of the rest of the competition.
I didn't want to risk the team a medal for kind of my screw-ups because they've worked way too hard for that.
Her teammates, Sinisa Lee, Jordan Charles and Grace McCallum stepping up. Biles cheering them on from the sidelines. But in the end, it was a silver medal behind Russia's gold. Biles saying that she stepped aside to take care of her mental health.
I say put mental health first, so it's okay sometimes to even sit out the big competitions to focus on yourself.
Another shock, Japan's Naomi Osaka dealt a crushing blow. The tennis superstar, number 2 in the world, losing to Czech Republic's Markita Vondrousova, ranked 42nd. Osaka telling reporters, I definitely feel like there was a lot of pressure for this. And the US now leading in overall medals. The Alaskan assassin, Lydia Jacoby, upsetting teammate Lily King in the 100-meter breaststroke. Jacoby, Alaska's first Olympic swimmer to earn gold, placing her small town of Seward on the map. Fans reacting all over her hometown.
Now, the big question, will Simone Biles compete in the individual competition? Well, she says she's taking it one day at a time.
David, we're rooting for her. James Longman, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we are going to switch gears now, and let's go into the weather. And here's a look at your weather across the United States for this Wednesday. As you can see, the green colored here is rain/thunderstorms. The yellow here is severe thunderstorms possible. And there are no heavy rain/floods possible on the map. So that is good news there. And that is a look at the weather across the United States for this Wednesday. In this spot here, and here, and over here is dry. No precipitation at all. So good news there. But all around is precipitation. And that is a look at your weather for this Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And let's switch gears now. Abigail Breslin talks about new film, Still Water. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News. Good morning, America.
Okay, we're not going to ask for discounts on floor models, demos, or displays. Shopping malls can be a big trigger for you.
Come here now with Abigail Breslin. She was an Oscar nominee at just 10 years old for a role in Little Miss Sunshine. With Matt Damon in Stillwater. Welcome to GMA. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we had Matt Damon here yesterday and was telling us about how his teen daughter gives him such a hard time, doesn't even watch his movies. And from what I can tell, you gave him a little bit of a hard time as well at Cannes.
A little bit. Well, yeah. I mean, I was mostly kidding around with him, but he was like taking all these videos and selfies with the crowd, and I was like, being such a tourist, like being such a dad. Stop.
Well, that is Matt Damon, right?
He's like, it's cool.
So tell us about this movie, Stillwater. You play an American college student in France who gets arrested for a murder. She says she didn't commit. And what was it about that character that spoke to you?
Yeah, well, you know, I think Tom McCarthy is such an incredible director and such an amazing writer. So getting a chance to work with him and obviously...
Spotlight as well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And to work with Matt as well was super exciting in and of itself. But I think that the characters in the whole movie are just written so human and so authentic and real. And they really... there's no, like, clear-cut villain, I guess, in it, which is always great for an actor to be able to play something so layered.
Let's take a look at a clip.
Dad, I need you to do something. I need you to get that to the park. Make sure she reads it. Okay?
What is it?
It's a letter. Just give it to her.
Yeah.
The address is on the envelope. Okay?
Yeah, okay. But are you good?
Please.
I'll do it today. I'll make sure she reads it.
Matt was telling us about how he went to Oklahoma to learn how to be a roughneck, and you actually went inside a prison in Marseille. What was that like?
Yeah, the prison that we filmed at Les Baumettes, which is the prison it takes place in, they were really generous with their time and let us kind of walk through and see what day-to-day life would basically be like for my character. And so the guards that you actually see in the film are real guards that work at the prison, and they couldn't have been more helpful in explaining kind of what day-to-day life would be like.
Before you go, I got to ask you about Little Miss Sunshine. Hard to believe it's been 15 years.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So what would your character be doing today?
Hopefully still dancing, hopefully still eating ice cream, and hopefully in a better car that actually works.
We can only hope for that. Abigail Breslin, thanks for coming in this morning. Still Waters is in Peters on Friday.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Very cool indeed. Still Waters. Looks like a good movie to see. And let's switch gears now and let's go into entertainment news. And in your entertainment news, Ariana Grande dazzles in her first The Voice promo. Let's take a look at that right now from Entertainment Tonight.
No matter who you are or how you voted, Maggie Hassan is protecting your freedom to vote, making early and absentee voting equally accessible across all 50 states and stopping politicians from silencing your voice. Stand with her.
But now, there's nowhere to hide.
Ariana Grande shines bright like the moon in a new promotional video for season 21 of The Voice.
Oh, whoa! Look at that amazing star over there. You mean Alpha Centauri? No. I mean Ariana Grande.
Yeah, okay. She's sitting on the moon too.
I'm happy. Life is good.
The POV singer is joining Blake Shelton, John Legend, and Kelly Clarkson as a coach on the upcoming season of the hit competition series. And in a new promo for the show, Ari puts her vocal skills on full display.
Hi guys, sorry I'm late.
Hey!
So Ariana, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we kind of have a tradition.
The new coach has to sing us a little song around the campfire.
So awkward. I couldn't possibly.
But now, there's nowhere to hide since you pushed my love aside.
Does anyone else want to buy that track?
I think that this is going to be a really fun one for us.
And when it comes to Ari joining the Voice team, I think Blake put it best.
This is going to be an amazing season.
On Monday, the 28-year-old singer shared these behind-the-scenes pics and clips from the promo shoot on Instagram.
Today we are shooting our very first promo for The Voice season 21. It's very fun. Everyone is at a beautiful campfire, and I'm of course dressed very appropriately. I was just entering on this really beautiful crescent moon, which I love. I have a moon tattoo. My floating moon entrance. Felt very special.
She captioned the post in part, quote, "Hello," and screaming. Cannot wait for everyone to see our first promo tomorrow for season 21 of The Voice. It's the most ridiculous and fun.
I feel your love every day.
As for her new coworkers, Ari wrote, quote, "I adore these humans so much and am already an emotional wreck worrying about saying goodbye to everyone the day of the finale, and nothing's even happened or aired yet." Kelly also shared a sneak peek on Twitter.
Today's promo is about how we regularly just chill around a campfire and sing. And the whole thing is kind of cute and it's outdoorsy. This is us welcoming Ariana.
Back in May, E.T. spoke with outgoing voice coach Nick Jonas about Ari joining the team, and he had nothing but praise for the newcomer.
She's brilliant, obviously. She'll nail it. I've said this to someone else, I think the best thing to do is just not to trust Blake.
I think the only proper way to end this video is to celebrate Ari joining The Voice by letting her do what she does best, sing. Specifically, those iconic whistle notes.
I mean Ariana Grande.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for joining us for this morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday and a great rest of your day. And see you back here later on today with more news coverage. Thank you for watching and enjoying this morning edition of The Morning Show with Riley King. Bye now.